We're ready, Chair Legaspi.
Thank you. Give me a moment. Okay.
Sorry.
Um, so good evening, Board Directors, Superintendent Larios, staff and guests, both in person and online. Thank you for joining us this evening for our regular board meeting, and it's actually our first board meeting of the academic school year for 24-25. It is now 5:27, and I will call this meeting to order. Putting my gavel down via Zoom. So next we have the Pledge of Allegiance, and Vice Chair Puente will be leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you.
Thank you. The next item on our agenda is the adoption of the agenda. You have that before you. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda as presented?
I make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor of adopting the agenda as presented, please say aye.
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 Thank you. 5-0 vote. The next item on the agenda is the election of officers. And the first item is for board chair for 2024-25 school year. I will now open the floor for nominations. And once nominations have been made, I will go ahead and close nominations.
Oh, I guess I'll start. For board chair for the academic year for 24-25, I nominate Chair Legaspi to remain as chair for the academic school year 24-25.
I second that.
So just to clarify, we don't need a second yet, but we do, this is open right now for nominations. And so then.
Are
once
there
you
any
close
other
this
nominations? It looks like seeing none. I would go ahead now and close nominations. Do we have a motion for one of, well, the only nomination?
I need a motion and then.
Okay. I make a motion to accept the nomination
to appoint.
to appoint Noemi Legaspi as board chair for the academic year of 24-25.
Is there a second?
I would second that.
I'm sorry, did I miss that?
Your microphone on?
Yes.
If somebody said something, I didn't hear that last part.
What is that? Here you, testing.
I second that motion.
Thank you. So Jenny, how does this go? All in favor of appointing,
You can, yeah, you would just read it and then if you don't want to vote, you can abstain. But you can read the motion on the floor.
okay. So all in favor of appointing Noemi Legaspi as board chair for the 2024-25 school year, please say aye.
Aye.
Sorry, how many ayes is that?
3 ayes. Are you, what is your vote, Noemi? And then, so
I'm
when,
abstaining.
okay, and then you gotta call for a no vote. Any opposed? You gotta
Any
mention.
opposed?
One no.
All right, so it looks like we have a board chair for 2024-25 school year. And so moving on to the next item is board vice chair. I will now go ahead and open the floor for nominations. I hear silence. Do we have any questions?
The floor is open for nominations.
The floor is open for nominations.
Noemi, you need to call for additional nominations or close. Did you hear the nomination?
Oh, no, I did not.
Is that on?
This too far or that too far?
I can hear you now.
Oh, you can?
Yes, I just want to share that one.
Okay, I said I nominate Santiago Puente for board vice chair for 24-25.
Thank you. Any other nominations? Otherwise, I will now close nominations. Hearing none. Do we have a motion for the nomination?
I make a motion. I'll make a motion to nominate vice chair, to appoint vice chair Santiago Puentes for academic year 2024 to 2025.
Is there a second?
I second.
So next we'll call for a vote. All in favor of appointing Santiago Puente as board vice chair for the 2024-25 school year, please say aye.
I
Aye.
I abstain.
Sorry, Jenny, how many was that?
4 yes, 1 abstain. Santiago abstain.
Okay. Okay. And so do we move on, or is this the time for discussion?
No, you move on.
Okay. All right. Do we have public comment for today?
We do not.
Okay. So we can move on to board action items. And it looks like we have old business, we have new business. Are we going through these individually?
Yes, number 1 and then the 6 listed under number 1.
Okay. So the first item under new business is designation and authorizations for the 2024-25 reaffirmed designation of superintendent as school district clerk and budget officer. 2, designate US Bank as depository of funds. 3, designate Polly Rogers. I'm sorry, are we doing this individually? Sorry, Jenny, are we doing these individually?
This particular one, you're doing all
All
of those
together.
listed right under? Yeah, they're all together.
Okay, then I'll go ahead and finish reading them. Designate U.S. Bank as a depository of funds. 3, designate Polly Rogers and Company PC as the district's financial auditors. 4, designate Ann Sherman of Hawkins, Delafield and Wood LLP as bond counsel. 5, designate Piper Sandler and Company as underwriter. 6, designate Myers, Stevens and Tuhey and Company, Inc. as administrator of our voluntary student accident insurance program.
Thank you, Chair Legaspi, for reading those and making those recommendations. I just wanted to share with the board that these are longstanding organizations and firms with which we operate. And so these are a series of annual designations and that the board needs to take action on to allow us to continue to maintain our operations. But these are firms with which not only Woodburn School District, but many other educational institutions and districts across the state of Oregon conduct business with. So these are strong partnerships that we have in place.
Are the recommendations under action requested, is that recommended from you?
Yeah, I'm sorry. These are actions that we're recommending to the board coming from the superintendent for the board to take action on tonight. So there's a series of them tonight. This one has 5 of those or 6 altogether, and then there's a number of them that we'll be walking through this evening.
And so on these, Jenny, are we having discussion? Or are we waiting for a motion, asking questions?
You can have discussion, yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions at this time?
Then we have to have somebody else we want to recommend.
No.
Yeah, we need to have these institutions in place. So if there was an objection, that would leave us in a position to now have to go and search for a replacement, because it's we need to be able to deposit our funds into the bank. So we need, U.S. Bank is where we have our funds deposited in. We need to have legal counsel, or what you'll see next coming up. And so these are organizations which we do and need to have operational business conducted with.
And just out of curiosity, should you not be able to perform for whatever reason? I think the question was laid out a couple meetings ago. If you're not able to, who is your backup for that? Should we have any questions in case something does happen? As budget officer,
Oh, well, Ms. Bishop, Sarah would be,
it would be okay.
yeah,
Kind of figured. I just wanted. to
Director
share.
Bishop.
So this is something, as the Superintendent Arias mentioned, we do every year. And we've been doing business with, everybody looks recognizable here. We've been doing business with them. And as mentioned as well, the district cannot do business moving forward if we do not authorize these 6 items.
So this is my recommendation that we use these. So, and I would ask the board now for for somebody to bring forward a recommendation to authorize us and approve them.
So is this the motion, Juan?
I'm asking the board for somebody to bring a motion forward to for these recommended action items.
I would entertain a motion
So if we make a
for these 6 items.
So if we make a motion,
The bottom.
On the bottom, there's a button.
You could leave it on. Oh,
I think it turns off by
you
itself.
gotta hold it. Sorry, Naomi, we're having technical difficulties with the microphones.
Oh, no.
so if we make a motion to accept all these 6 recommendations, do we have to identify them individually or just say 1 through 6?
You can say, Chair Legaspi already read them all, so you can say, I move to adopt the designations for authorizations as presented.
Motion to adopt. Section 1 through 6 of 3.2.1.
I didn't hear that, but was that a motion to adopt?
Sorry, my mic was off.
Oh,
Yes, I make a motion to adopt 1 through 6. I'm sorry, what's the designations and authorizations
Thank you.
presented?
Is there a second? Was that a second?
Bernie Elwell seconded the motion.
Thank you. All in favor of adopting or approving the designations and authorizations for 2024-2025 school year, items 1 through 6, please say aye.
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 Aye. Thank you. That's a 5-0 vote. The next item we have here under new business is appointment of district legal counsel.
The recommended action here is to approve these different legal firms. Each of them have like a different specialized area. We've met Rebecca from Garrett Heeman, which provides our general legal counsel. The Hungerfords support us with bargaining and labor. The Willamette ESD also provides some general legal counsel. And then we have some other firms that specialize in some different areas such as business and construction. So these are our legal counsel, are the firms that we utilize and would like to continue to utilize. The recommended action tonight is for the board to approve these, appoint these legal firms for the district to continue to work with.
For this next, the recommended motion is to appoint and then read what it says under. So I move to appoint and then read the listing.
Well, I move to that the board appoint Garrett Heeman, Robertson PC, Hungerford Law Firm, Willamette Service District, Kent and Johnson LLP, and Violin Wilkinson LLC as legal counsel for the Woodburn School District for the 2024 and 25 school year.
I second.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah, I second.
All in favor of appointing of the school district legal counsel, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries with a 5-0 vote. The next item is appointing of the custodian of funds and deputy clerk, resolution number 24-003.
And this resolution appoints Director Bishop or Director of Business as the deputy clerk and custodian of all funds received by the district.
As noted in resolution number 24-003, appointing custodian of funds and deputy clerk. Whereas the board of Marion County School District 103 deems it advisable to appoint one of its staff as custodian of funds of the district and deputy clerk. Now therefore be it resolved by the district school board of School District 103, Marion County, Oregon, pursuant to ORS 328-441, Sarah Bishop be appointed deputy clerk and custodian of all funds of the district received except such as are required by law to be placed in the custody of others, and that the appointee named be required to comply strictly with ORS Chapter 295 in the deposit of such funds with financial institutions and strictly with ORS 294-035 and 294-046 in the investment of such funds And be it further resolved that unless otherwise specifically authorized by the board and with the authority recorded in the minutes of the board, investments and reinvestments and deposits and redeposits of such funds at interest shall be for periods not exceeding 1 year from the date of investment or deposit. And be it further resolved that unless specifically authorized by the board with the authority spread upon the minutes of the board, investments other than the bank deposits are to be invested in compliance with ORS 294035. And be it further resolved that the district furnish to the custodian at the expense of the district a fidelity bond in the principal sum of $500,000 in a corporate surety company duly licensed by the Insurance Commissioner of the State of Oregon to transact business surety in the state of Oregon. Adopted by the Board of Directors of Marion County School District Number 103, Woodburn Public Schools, on the second day of July 2024.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yeah, I second.
So all in favor of appointing of the custodian of funds and deputy clerk resolution number 24-003, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. The next item is authorization to purchase state federal surplus supplies.
So on this item, the recommended or the requested action is to authorize the Director of Business, Facility Supervisor, and Superintendent to be able to purchase state and federal surplus supplies as needed or as necessary.
Make a motion to adopt the authorization to purchase state federal surplus supplies.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving authorization to purchase state federal surplus supplies, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0 vote. Item number 5, approval of depositories of school funds.
So the recommended action here is to continue to authorize the board to authorize us to designate U.S. Bank and Umpqua Bank as the depositories of our funds.
I make a motion to designate of depositories of school funds to continue to the following institutes: U.S. Bank and Umpqua Bank.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving of depositories of school funds, please say aye. All opposed? Looks like that motion carries 5-0 vote. Item number 6, approval of spending of refunds.
So I'm here recommending asking the board to, when we purchase items that need to be refunded and we get that back, to be able to use those funds. So that's what we're asking the board to take action on tonight. Spending of refunded funds.
As opposed to just saving it?
With the, if we don't
mean-
take action, yeah, we can not use it or we can use it, but if we don't have board authorization, then we can't use the refunded funds for purchase.
Where do the refunds come from?
If we buy something and we send it back that wasn't what we needed, just like, when you're out there buying stuff on your own and you purchase something that's not quite what you needed and you send it back, you get the money back. So we have to have authorization from the board to be able to do something with the money that we receive back.
So I make a motion to approve the spending of refunds.
Is there a second?
I second.
Thank you. All in favor of approving of spending of refunds, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries at 5-0 vote. Item 7, approval of daily rate of pay for substitute teachers.
So what's in the packet tonight is the approval of, or the minimum rate of pay, which is that $211.92 per day. And then it goes up to $249 per day when it's a 10 consecutive day. But we do pay higher than that. Oh, no? Oh, gosh. Is this better?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. So this is the recommending approval of the minimum rate of pay for substitute teachers. We do pay higher than the minimum, but we need the board to take action on this. And we, right now are paying it at $241.84 for our subs, rather than the minimum of $211.92. Right now we're pausing that. We'll kind of see where things are. Districts surrounding us, because we want to be competitive. We know we need our subs, and we want to be competitive with being able to bring our subs in.
Thank you. Did I hear you say we were previously paying $211?
No, that's the state minimum.
Oh, I see.
But we're paying 241.
Okay, thank you.
How does this compare to other districts? I don't know if Director Bishop has that answer.
Or Nikki, anyone?
That's okay to ask, right?
Sure. Yeah, we got that conversation.
Just so I have an idea.
If that was a question, Santiago, I didn't hear you. Can you repeat that?
It was just a curious question to see how that compares to other districts. I know that they want to be competitive, so I'm just curious to see where it falls in the competitiveness.
Thank you.
Presently, we pay well above our surrounding districts. That's something that was implemented during COVID when we were having difficulty getting subs, and we've continued to do that. I think Salem Kaiser presently is the only one that pays more than us. So we're comparable and above to our surrounding districts.
I do have a question, Superintendent Larios. You may have shared this, but I know after so many days, does the rate go up? Does it stay the same?
Yeah, after 10 days, it goes up. And right now, for us in Woodburn, it goes up to $273.68.
Even though here it says 249.
Yeah, that's the minimum, at which that would need to be. Yeah, the state minimum.
And the minimum is defined by statute?
Yes.
Yep.
I make a motion.
Are we ready for a motion?
I make a motion to establish the daily rate of pay for substitute teachers for academic year 2024 to 2025.
Is there a second?
A second.
All in favor of approving of daily rate of pay for substitute teachers, please say aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0 vote. Item number 8, approval of 2024-2025 Woodburn School Board meeting dates.
Yeah, so what's listed here are the dates. The reports and the topics are something that, we could continue to work on as we set our, board retreat and set our goals, and then identify what those topics might be. But of really importance tonight is the dates and the times.
And so, Jenny, for this year, we were meeting like the second Tuesday of every month, twice a month.
Second and fourth
Tuesday.
It's the second.
and fourth. So these dates listed, the ones highlighted in green, December tenth and March 11th, those are the only two exceptions of the regular meeting. Those two dates are the second Tuesday of the month. December because of the holiday season, and then March, because of contract renewals and non-renewals. Those by law, we need to have them approved by March 11th or March 15th, excuse me. So that is the reason for the regular March meeting, March 11th recommendation.
So if we have,
Oh, is there a question?
so if we have retreats or other working sessions, they're not listed on here.
The only date not listed here is the retreat. All of the work sessions are listed here.
Jenny, do we know if any of the dates that are being recommended at this time, did we review the Russian holidays to see if any of those?
I did not review the calendar.
That's not an issue.
I can't hear you, Rosie.
That wouldn't be an issue. Did you hear me?
Yes. So, do you have an idea at the top of your head now where some of those, when those dates are?
I do. And just looking at the calendar, I don't see any conflicts. Except on April 22nd.
April 22nd?
That's correct. That's our Easter this coming year.
Okay.
Other than that, there does not seem to be issues at all.
Okay. So it sounds like April 22nd is the only date that you see on there.
That's correct.
Is there another date, Jenny, that we can schedule that?
Yes, so two options could be to schedule it the week before or the week after, or my other recommendation would be to have April 8th as the regular meeting and only meet once in April as well.
Any thoughts about what is being discussed?
So would we be able to just meet once in April and take care of the Arthur Academy and Nellie Muir calendar year agenda?
Yeah, we would move all those reports to the 8th.
So did I hear, Jenny, that we would just align and move everything forward? So everything that we would normally, that would be normally be presented to the board would continue to be presented?
Yes, so you would convert April 8th into a regular meeting, and we would have Nellie and Arthur present to you then. And then also potentially adopting the calendar for the following school year, and then you would just cross out April 22nd date.
Okay, so that would just be a longer meeting? Are you just moving everything up to April 8th?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Well, as you guys can see, we have 4 meetings in May.
Yeah, 2 of those are budget committee.
Budget, yes.
So I
Any
would
thoughts for having one meeting in April?
I would recommend just having one meeting in April.
We're getting head nodding, agreeing. Let me.
We need to second that, or there wasn't a motion?
So this one, you're adopting the whole calendar, so the motion would be, I move to adopt the 2024-25 school board schedule as amended.
Is there a motion?
I move to adopt the amended, school board schedule.
Is
I
there a
second.
second? So all in favor of approving the 2024-2025 Woodburn School Board meeting dates as amended, please say aye.
Aye.
I,
Aye. Thank you. Vote 5-0 vote. And item number 9, approval of budget calendar for 2025 through the 26th. Am I reading that correctly?
It's for the
2025,
25-26
26?
budget, yes. No, that's correct, it's for
Oh, I see.
the
Next week.
following school year. calendar. Yeah. The 25-26 budget.
Yeah, and these are the dates that are reflected on that board calendar. So the budget meeting on May 6th, second one if necessary on May 20th, and then the at the regular board meeting on the June 24th.
Any questions or discussion?
I make a motion to adopt the budget calendar for 2025-2026 budget, academic budget year.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of approving a budget calendar for 2025-26 budget, say aye.
I,
Aye. Thank you. Motion carries 5-0 vote. Item number 10, resolution number 24-004, approval of electronic advertisement, electronic submissions for bids or proposals.
Yes, this resolution is just like the title states, authorizes the district to be able to submit electronic advertising and bids.
Any questions or discussion around this?
this would be just for anything that the district requests from outside sources, right?
Yeah, for anything that we're required to seek bidding, to conduct it, to move through the bidding process.
So Superintendent Larios, if I remember right, this is connected to, there's a certain amount, right? After, is it 10,000? Then it has to go through, something has to go through this process?
Yeah, and I invite up to, Director Bishop to use this mic. Okay, share.
Thing. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Noemi?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Yes, there's different thresholds for bidding requirements based upon the dollars that we're using, federal versus state, and the items that we're buying. So yes, there's different thresholds. The amount that we like to throw around is $50,000, but again, there's different requirements of federal versus state funds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To adopt resolution number 24-004 as
Is there a motion for item 10?
I make a motion to adopt resolution number 24-004 as recommended for calendar year 2024-2025.
I second.
All in favor of approving resolution number 24-004, approval of electronic advertisement, electronic submissions for bids or proposals, please say aye. All
Aye.
opposed?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0 vote. Next item is designation of signers on accounts.
So this item authorizes, Director Bishop and I to be the signers of the accounts that we have with Umpqua Bank and US Bank.
Any questions?
I do have a question. So you know how Umpqua Bank had their problems last year? So let's say they do have another financial issue this coming year, and then you guys would have to join, so then you guys would have to submit that request, right? I just know from others, entities who had issues and with Umpqua Bank that they have the previous last year, 2 years.
So all of our deposits are FDIC insured. We make sure we stay under that limit, so there's never any sort of cash issues that we would have. Our monies are insured. And if we did. If we did have banking issues, US Bank would still be an option, but if we needed a new bank, we'd come to the board for authorization during the year.
I have a question. So, I see here that like Lincoln, Woodburn High School, Woodburn School District, Valor Middle School, there's not enough schools here to cover all the banks. So could you help us understand where the rest of the money is?
You bet. So the middle schools, all are in the Valor Middle School account. The elementary schools are the same as Lincoln. Unfortunately, it's a title carryover from, gosh, well before I was here. That's just the name on those accounts. But the other schools do have their funds deposited within these institutions.
I make a motion to approve Sarah Bishop and Juan Larios as the designated signers for the accounts.
Is there a second?
Second.
Ooh. I'm sorry, was that a second?
Yeah, second.
Santiago Puente seconded.
Oh, thank you. So all in favor of approving designation of signers on accounts, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Motion carries 5-0 vote. Item number 12, Budget Committee appointment and vacancies timeline.
So this, ending budget cycle, we did have one position, that was filled by, John Rivas, that his term ended. It's my recommendation to declare the vacancy for that position and then adopt the following timeline that's in your packet. The other option that we could do is you could approach John to renew. I didn't ask John after he, finished his term because he had been absent at one of the meetings, and then last school year, he didn't attend any of the meetings. But that could be another option as well.
Or we could stick with what is written here.
Yes, that would be my recommendation.
Right. Okay.
I make a motion to the recommendations to declare the budget committee vacancy position 1 and timeline as follows for calendar year 2024, 2025.
Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor of approving Budget Committee appointment and vacancies timeline, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0 vote. And our next item is item 13, board retreat date.
So, I sent a Google survey, kind of collect some dates. I've only got 3 responses out of the 5. So let me read you kind of the majority of the responses. And then just, I also want to note as well, these are not dates that we have shared, or I've shared them with OSBA, but I have not heard back if she's available or what her availability is. So that's something else that we should keep in mind as well. But as of now, for 3 people, there's not one date that actually works for everyone. The top dates that work for the majority of the 3 would be Saturday, July 20th. Wednesday, July 24th. Saturday, July 27th. And Saturday, August 24th.
Wednesday, the 24th would work for me.
What times is on Wednesday again? If you can refresh.
It could be, the recommended times that I put on there, it's actually really up to the board. I suggested either like 12 to 6 or 2 to 8. We could meet 8 to 2.
I would
later.
prefer an earlier, to meet earlier.
I will share some of the comments, that the board members wrote in for additional information. Someone mentioned there weren't available at all in September. Someone had a preference of July 20th. And then another person, their preference would be a Saturday to accommodate their work schedule.
So I don't think we have any September dates. Did I hear September?
Oh, I put September dates in the calendar. I guess September 7th did work for 2 people, excuse me. It didn't work for the 3rd person.
Okay. So it sounds like somebody doesn't want to miss work during the week. I work on the weekends, so it's difficult to be available on Saturday. I can be available on Saturday after a certain time, but I cannot be available in the morning.
The other option could be to split the retreat into like maybe 3 hours and 3 hours during the week in the evening. If we did that, or even 2 weeks, I guess would work too.
Any thoughts around our discussion on dates and splitting up our retreat time?
Was the document not restricting you from sending it until you filled out a date in August and until you filled out a date in September? You know, there was a little red star that was like forcing you to pick either date in September.
Yes.
Oh, okay, because we have a quince, the first weekend selected in September, and my son's getting married the second weekend in September. So either one of those is really hard for us.
I think I
So-
heard, Courtney, that doesn't work for you. And I think also having a retreat in September after the school year has started may not be a good idea.
Probably not.
I prefer to do Saturdays in June, July, and August. Or late afternoons. That just works better for my schedule because September is my final planning for my son's wedding too.
But I don't think that idea about splitting it, maybe on 2 nights after work, I don't know how people feel about that, might not be too bad if people can't miss work. You know, kind of like a 3-hour night one night and a 3-hour, or like, you know, like a Tuesday and Thursday night might work for people who Can't miss. I pick Tuesdays and Thursdays on mine because that's easier for me. In the evenings.
I can make almost any day work except for July 20th. That's a hard no.
Oh, that's a no for you.
Just July 20th.
I second that motion.
And
Sorry,
that's
did you
the
say
day
that
I
that doesn't
put
work,
I
Ryan?
can Go.
What about August 13th, which it's the second Tuesday of August, which would normally be a board meeting night, but it wasn't listed as a board meeting work session. How does that look? It is music in the park, but typically we have a meeting. That week is a good week too here. Looking at board.
And what kind of hours are you thinking, like this time? When?
So if we split it between like Tuesday and Thursday, like you mentioned, whatever works for the board, we can make work. And again, this is all depending on, OSBA.
Yeah, and I get it because this is like summer. I'm the one who put 7/20 as my preferred date, but that's just because we have a lot of out of town traveling, and that's one weekend I know we're gonna be home, but I totally.
What about the following week is good too.
Can we do on the 13th in the morning, like a morning session?
What date was that?
August 13th, which one's not available in the morning.
How about the 19th of August? It's a Monday.
So that is the week that staff return to work, I believe. I don't know if Superintendent Larios will be busy during that time.
Yeah, what about, I want to go, some of the dates that are on the calendar that maybe in the fall, the July 27th work for folks? That was.
All right. Did you say July 27th?
When I'm trying to go back from memory. Yeah. Oh, no.
July 27th is a Saturday and only 2 of the 3 that took poll that worked for 2 of the 3 people.
So if we did half on that one Tuesday, that you were talking about for the meeting, and then the other half on a Saturday or on another day, might that work? That wasn't July 20th? Because Ryan and Santiago can't do that day? Maybe?
Would be.
How about the 23rd and 27th
Of what month?
of July? Oh, you can?
I am not available that Monday or Tuesday. Did I hear that the 27th doesn't work?
Will 27th work for you?
Works for me.
Saturdays work, but it only works after a certain time. I see clients in the morning up until about 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm available on Saturdays, but after that time. And I can't miss that Saturday because I'm leaving to a conference that next day for the rest of that week. So if we can do Saturdays, can we do later in the afternoon?
Can we do like a 2, 3 o'clock to 8 o'clock
On
on the 27th?
I'm supposed to go to Idaho.
Was that a question, Rosie? I didn't hear that.
I asked, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, I asked if we can do a late afternoon, So from 3 to 8, but Jenny's not available and neither is, Connie.
Oh, okay.
I'll bring back August 13th in the evening. What is that?
I can do the evening on August 13th. And what time would that be, Jenny? Would that be at
5:30 to 9:30, that's 4 hours. Mhm.
and that is right after the OSBA conference, right?
Correct.
Do you think OSBA will be ready to come out to our meeting and facilitate a retreat?
I'm not sure, I would have to ask. What about Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday? Maybe I can ask her Tuesday, Wednesday or Thursday? Would any
Of that
those
same
days
week?
work? Of that same week? Uh-huh.
So
I have more flexibility during that week, so I can be flexible.
the 14th?
Well, I want to be able to give her multiple dates, just because it is after the OSB conference, so if everyone would be available 13th, 14th, or 15th, I can offer those dates to her and she can pick one that would work. In the evening.
And those would be 2 evenings?
We would prefer to at least have 6 hours of a board retreat, so if we can split them between any of those 2 days of that week, that would be preferable.
Yep. Those all
Usually
work.
run out of time.
So it's 6 hours. No, right?
Mhm.
And I'm just thinking crazy and wild here, because I know we've had these meetings as of late, like the one that went to 11:30 the other night. I mean, if we wanted to get it one and done, so we're not trying to make more work, we're trying to figure out dates, what if we did like a 4 to 10? Just to get it. I know but it's part of the job that we're signed up for. Just to say, you see what I'm saying? Instead of trying to figure out multiple dates, just be like, it's the end of a work day, yeah, but at least we'd only be losing per se an hour of work. And then just push it all out, get it done, and spend dinner together. And just do a 4 to 10 or,
On either the 13th, 14th, or 15th?
yeah.
Yeah, I would prefer one date as well. And I can do the 12th through the 15th. So anytime that week.
I can do the 14th and 15th.
Same as if we're gonna go that route, Santiago, then the 13th is a no-go, but the 12th, 14th, and 15th work.
Verify my calendar right now.
And
14th.
and I'm okay with that as well, a 4 to 10.
The 15th would be ideal for me.
15th?
How about for others?
That works.
Does that work for Courtney and Rosie?
Yes.
Okay.
For everybody.
So we'd all prefer the 15th.
So what about the 12th? Monday, the 12th?
I'd be getting back from out of town that day. So that'd be,
You're getting back into town?
yeah.
Okay. The 13th?
I'd prefer the 15th just because it's my niece's birthday, the 13th, but I will go with what everybody decides. I'm pretty much open the whole week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, just to go with the majority.
So I'm still hearing 14th or 15th, 4 to 10?
I can do the 14th.
That's correct.
No, I mean, what about the 15th? Because the 15th works for the majority here, right? Is first pick 15th?
I think so. As long, I mean, at the mercy of OSBA, whatever they can do, we will. As long as it's not the 13th.
That's only if we do the 4 to 10, then the 13th doesn't work for me.
So what are those dates, Jenny?
14th or 15th, with 15th being the preferred date?
I can make it work. I have Fiesta Mexicana for 3 days, but I can make it work.
Okay.
And that would be 4 to 10.
Yes.
Okay. So it looks like we have a date and we hope that OSBA is available at that time.
Yes. I will email
Okay.
you as soon as I hear back.
Okay. All right, so it looks like we have a date down on the calendar. Is there a motion?
No, I mean, I would not recommend adopting this date yet. What I can do is I will notice the date, once
Okay.
we have it confirmed.
Okay, so we don't need, okay,
No.
sounds good. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so our next item, moving on to executive session. 182.6602F to consider information and records that are exempt by law from public inspection.
Noemi, I will email you a different Zoom link.
Okay.
Thank you.